What it did, y'all. Some motherfucking rear point, RoBs Inferno while it burns slow. Shout out all my guys and goddesses and all high vibrational hearing beings. You know what the fuck it is. Tap in, tap in. You know. Um, Welcome everybody. You know, I hope everybody to see this whenever they see this live or whenever they come across this. You know. Um, welcome, welcome to welcome to your Trumpman show, 2026, the Trumpman show. Rise of the Distractions, season season 7, episode 3. You feel me? Rise of the Distractions. You know, everybody tuned into the Trumpman show. You feel me? The lies and shit. This is what we dealing with. Vibration of that gas giant in the sky. And do what I can while the system is up as far as complying to get back to my son around the chaos that the mother of my child created. You know, it's like my main goals, and not to crash out on people. You know, not to be provoked, not to be reactive. I know that's the main thing that everybody's trying to do to black people right now, because they can't take the reality of who their forefathers are if they're not us, you know. I know it's a lot of stress amongst that, and it's hard to deal with, right? I get this, you know, but I just want everybody to know that with the avoidant energy that everybody has had and has, you're only making it worse, because that avoidant energy that you're feeling is due to the changes that's taking place on the planet. That's only increasing. So this means that more of what you're feeling, you're gonna feel more of that. You feel me? It's just gonna increase more and more. You're just gonna feel more of it. It's not going nowhere. You feel me? It's just gonna pick up, and it, you know what I mean. Whether you know why it's happening to you atomically or not. You feel me? So I just want to know I just want to let y'all know the avoidant energy that people are having towards like the real issues and stuff on the planet, right? You're advocating for the system that was built on the genocide of black people to still stay up. That's also in cahoots with harming children too, you know? I know a lot of y'all think that, you know, when y'all having avoidant energy about the system crashing and trying to act like everything is fine, y'all don't feel like that, you know? Y'all just feel like y'all just having avoidant energy, something that doesn't matter to you, but you're advocating even more so for the punishment that you're receiving to speed up, you know, because this system, it was built on the most wildest, inhumane, diabolical, you know, unhinged type shit, you feel me? That was done to people in my genetic makeup, right? And I understand that you think this is normal and this is how we should live, you know, like I get that. A lot of social programming, a lot of lack of awareness, right? A lot of ego was built, right? Like I get it. I get it why it's so hard to face and stuff like that. But y'all doing yourselves more of a disadvantage for not facing it now and dealing with those attached feelings that has you so comfortable with this way of life, besides it being all you ever known. Like I advise that you get on that as soon as possible. You know what I mean? Or it's gonna be more trouble for you going forward. As far as the complex cell organism, right? You know, I'm being attacked in all ways. There's ways that I'm being attacked. You know what I mean? Even just now, you know, I got attacked with a complex cell organism on the internet with an Asian girl, and then she got mad because it wasn't working. Even if it was a woman, no call say, you know how the crazy this shit be on the internet. But regardless, it was somebody on some weird shit, and I called them out on it. And then they said, "Are you an idiot?" You know? Look, you know it is what it is. Like I'm steadfast in my growth and stuff like that. But this gas giant in the sky, though, y'all. You know? That's what it's about. That right there. See that? Shit is beautiful, right? That shit is beautiful, right? Shout out my Brit. I love you to death. I ain't stopped loving you. You feel me? Enjoy the rest of your day, God. Peace, power, abundance, brother. We almost home, man. We almost there. You know, we almost there. I had to tell God, like, this son separating us, this system, all this abuse. You know? And he looked at me like, he looked at me like that was all he could believe in. You feel me? Like that was all he could believe in. That's how he looked at me. You know? That's all I can believe in, man. My own people. That's how y'all got my people, you know? That's how y'all got us living in this shit. You know what I'm saying? This is what that injustice really do, you know? This is what that shit really does. You know? Has us like this and shit. It's all good though. It's just all gravy and mashed potatoes. No, it ain't even gravy and mashed potatoes no more. You feel me? It's motherfucking peaches and mangoes and apples and grapes. You feel me? That's what it is. You know? Hold up real quick, y'all. That shit kind of like fucked with me a little bit. Hold up real quick. I'm not gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? Seeing us in these situations. You know what I mean? That was another black man. You hear what I'm saying? That was another black man. Black man looked at me like I just gave him hope, you know? And how you doing today, brother? You know, it's another black man I know, and this guy off the bus, he in the same situation and shit. And he be seeing me, you know, he seen me the other day, just so he couldn't go in the jump, and he had a better night. He was just so happy, just to, you know what I mean? It wasn't even in a jealousy way of telling me like you know, like I'm gone, I'm not gonna be here. No, it was like he was happy just to get a lower bit of something so-called normal, so-called say, right? Yeah, y'all, it's really bad. But I value y'all though, and I ain't gonna lie, me seeing that one guy that walked by me, I'm telling y'all, if y'all didn't see the way he turned around and he looked at me. I told him it's almost over. He was just like, man, like that's all I got to believe in now. Like you know, like I could tell he ain't understand genetics or nothing like that. He didn't really know what I was talking about, but he just looked at me like, you know, I don't even know you, and I hope you're right. You know what I mean? Because I'm about to, you know. And I'm like, yeah, it's everybody living off of us, you know. Everybody living off of us. So again, let me say it again. Like, so that avoided energy that y'all have towards black people that's aware of who we are, what we're living in, what's being done, regardless of us being prisoners of war, must know that avoided energy that you have is you're basically advocating for this system that was built on the genocide of black women and her children, right? My species. You're advocating for this system to be up with that avoided energy. That's what you're saying to the cosmos, you know? And see, this is why the sun is giving all of that energy right back to everybody now, you know? Like I be saying, it's because it's a lot of people with animal DNA, a lot of unnatural people know a lot more than they lead on. They act like they lead on to be right. They know a lot. They be playing dumb. But I don't play the psychological games with them off of my level of awareness and understanding what's happening with them on a cellular level. But same time, if I'm talking the truth on here, or I'm talking to somebody in person, natural or unnatural, right? I'm not trying to talk about this stuff to make anybody with animal DNA feel inadequate. You know what I mean? But at the same time, you know, if you feel how you feel, or you feel like I'm racist because, you know, everything has been stripped from me, and me playing a game that I shouldn't even be playing, that's able to go even as far as it's been, off of my lack of awareness from my brother and sister and capitulating, right? Even our children being subjugated to y'all, right? All of this, you know, y'all don't even talk about how bad the situation really was. I'm not here to talk about that right now, you know, but I'm just saying, that I've been telling y'all for the longest time that y'all wasn't going to keep living off of us comfortably, like everything is everything, you know, and that time is here now. So now that time is here. You know, a lot of stuff that people was talking to me about, laughing at me about 3 years ago, and I was telling them what was going to be happening with that gas giant in the sky. They not acting like that now. You know, they act weird when they see me now. Like they can't even. They looking at me like I'm a prophet. They look like how do you know this? You know, like, and I'm like, look, don't call me. I'm not a prophet or none of that. I'm not no different than the next black man, or you know what I mean, or the next black woman. You know, I just understand what we're supposed to be doing, and my anatomy is just changing a little bit faster than the average neuromelanated being. The same way how on the opposite end, some of them are looking like tomatoes right now, and some of them aren't. But because some of them aren't, they think that their anatomy not breaking down. I'm like, y'all don't understand radiation over time. Like, don't think just because you're not looking like a tomato and you the European, Asian, Arab, you got all these different animals that make you up as an organism. That your body cellular structure isn't breaking down because you don't look as bad as the next unnatural being. No, it's just the same way, good or bad. Some is changing for the better faster than others, and some is changing for the worse faster than others. It's the same thing, you know. So this shit is real, you know what I mean? And this was our biggest test, you know. And all my neuromelanated beings out here that can see, you know, the forest beyond the trees, don't crash out. You get what I'm saying? Don't be provoked. I'm gonna keep saying it because I know I'm getting all these new subscribers every day. Shout out to everybody on their mission, you know, bringing truth around what we really living in and how we should be conducting ourselves, and taking accountability around not even just our children but all children, right? Shout out to everybody that's on that. What else, y'all? You know, I didn't get on here really to give y'all like a whole like I normally do. I just, cause y'all notice I haven't even been on here like that, because I've been trying to just protect my energy, deal with everyday child alienation around, you know, the mother of his child, of her awareness and knowing how much I love that little boy, and how every day is going by, and I'm just going through life as if like I'm not a father, like what that's doing to me mentally, you know. I'm trying to keep my sanity within that and not crash out. I know that's what happened because of the system that I'm in, right? That protects that level of toxicity, and that's men in general, or even a woman, right? Because we know that judicial, the separation of getting the black man out the household, you know, really what that's about. So that falls in all the category of, you know, you have a baby. I'm not saying unnatural people, but that whole thing was mainly towards us. Y'all got to remember, a lot of the stuff that happens to y'all, it's just Fairchester stuff within this matrix, within this system that can would be like, right? Like, for example, you know, black people, we get locked up, but a white person up also, right? You get what I'm saying? But we know those jails are modern day plantations, prisons, and the jails, and we know that we're targeted, right? You know, so it's the same concept. It's like, you know, everybody can get locked up, but everybody knows police target black people more than anything, right? So a lot of stuff fits that category of like the illusion, the curveball. It's like, if we doing this, that was the whole, I want to let y'all know, that was the whole thing about us being together, right? If we're together, you know, I can do stuff to everybody, but it's mainly done to you, but you're not going to see that it's done to you because it's being done to other people that your soul can feel that's not you. You hear what I'm saying? So you're not even seeing the attack that all of this is mainly designed against you because it's happening to other people also. One of the other reasons was also for interbreeding. And then one of the other third reasons also was to keep us in a low docile state. You know what I mean? Because we would only be able to achieve of the highest vibration or frequency or whatever they could be able to ascend to. And you see where that's at. It's not really that high. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why is The reason why it's not that high and stuff like that is because, first off, for any species, if you can't accept your own anatomy, if you can't accept what you are as an organism, you could only have so much growth because you're not even accepting yourself. You get what I'm saying? You're lying to the world around a psychopathic lie about who you are because you don't know where you came from. So, you know what I mean, nothing in nature can describe your existence. So with that being said, of course you're gonna feel like that, you know? You're gonna feel like that. You're not gonna accept yourself. Therefore, you're not gonna be able to reach a high level of excelling, you know? It's only from this 3D standpoint of stuff that we think that's really of real value, but it's not of value at all, especially with us and who we are. But so you got to understand what I'm saying. It's a lot of little curveballs within like this whole technology with this species. You know what I'm saying? Um, but yeah, I've been protecting my energy, y'all. You know what I mean? I'm still homeless. I'm seeing more people homeless. You know what I'm saying, and all of that. But I know that's the biggest weapon to make a man feel inadequate. That's why the three things that's going to be attacked is your food, your shelter, and your hygiene. Because it's stuff to break any man down. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, for real, for real. It's stuff to break any man down. And then you got to think about it. The majority of people are programmed. You even being in these situations, it's not just bad what you're dealing with of the situation so-called physically, but because of everybody programmed, like the way that they're going to look at you from like a humiliation standpoint. You know, it's like a humiliation ritual. You know. It's like a humiliation ritual because, you know, in this system, and this is from men altogether what I'm about to say, you know, because of a monetary system, the value that the false value that they have us all aligned with, as far as within the natural resources that's been hijacked, right? That's in abundance. The moment you start coming up short in any way towards a family, if you haven't created a family, towards yourself, right? Towards your woman, you know what I mean? The moment you start coming up like financially in any lower bit, you start looking and start showing to the world you're worthless. That's what the world tells you. That's what the world says to us, you know? Therefore, you know, I was explaining this the other day, and I'm gonna do a whole lot on this specifically because I got to go into detail about this. But I was talking about from a standpoint of how a lot of women only see value in money. They don't. Well, I'm not gonna say all women, but there's a lot of older women that see value past that. You know, anytime that like it's been women that I messed with when I wasn't on my feet and got back on my feet, got caught another BMW, all that, right? Money, you know, looking like myself and all of that again. And I will say the only women that really rocked with me from a standpoint of when I was messed up that was able to see past that, it was an older woman. You know, a lot of young women won't see that because, and it kind of is mind-boggling to me, y'all, because they say like, you know, women mature faster than men, and I don't want to say that's a lie, but it's a lot of knowledge that's missing within how to go about choosing a man in association with what this system tells you of choosing a partner to be like, stereotypes and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like the number one thing, you know, what's a man's status, his occupation? Does he have a career? Right? You know, a lot. You know, that's why you hear the sayings a lot of times. A man can see a woman down and out, and it won't always be sex based, because you know, because a lot of them like, oh, a lot of men see me try to take advantage of me because you know I don't got my own. There's a lot of sick men like that, but there's a lot of men that's not like that, and will fall in love with you off of seeing you for the heart that you have, regardless of you being in a financial situation or not, and he'll bring you back to your normal spot, wherever that would be. Now, on the other foot, it's not a lot of women that's like that towards men. You know, they'll not only will they not choose that man, you know, however, so if they're around him, you know, they'll try to make him feel inadequate, not even knowing him in situation, why, how he, man, it could be anything, you know, but ultimately, whatever it is, what's the relevancy of the whole scenario is that this whole system is designed against me as a black man. So this is even more so how goofy black men look off of their occupation and how much more status they have, how much more money they have, that use that to look down on a brother, or sister. How ignorant that they look, because regardless of how much individual success we would be to get in the system, right? It don't matter how much individual success that we could get in this system, whatever that would be of achieving. It doesn't change the fact that we're divided amongst the system, and that's able to make the system flourish. You hear what I'm saying? And everyone living off of us. And our lack of awareness that it's even going on. You get what I'm saying? In competition with each other and stuff like that. Like we don't really be realizing how goofy we look. That's why when I come across like black men like that and stuff, it's crazy, because when I come across a lot of them in the street and stuff, and I used to be ignorant as hell, y'all. Anybody that really know me, and you could probably tell by if I get irritated sometimes, I got another side of me, right? But I understand the vibration of that, and nothing positive really comes from that, or not as in a way of growth and real understanding, real wisdom, right? It's different. But
Fairfax Government Center.
I know that where we're at right now, it's like I was already using my common sense before we got here with the information I was knowing what the so-called tribulation was going to feel like, and it was somewhat aligned around like the truth coming out and people knowing the truth, even regardless of their genetic makeup. But some people still trying to stay connected to the old way of life, either or not being able to understand the truth, or even trying to block the truth. However, so if it was set around them, or in any way that they could stop it. If so, like I knew it was something around there, and you really think about it, that's where we're in right now. Regardless if you have a job or not, there's people on both angles that's doing this, that have a job and that don't have a job. But a lot of people are trying to act like everything is normal, or as if everything is going back to normal, as if it ever was normal. Ever since the system has been up, they've been indoctrinating our children in the educational system. Ever since they've had them hospitals, they've been forcing our babies to be born in their hospitals, medically and mentally evaluating our star seeds, you know what I'm saying, abusing them, child molestation, touching on our lower black girls, and, dealing with us as if like we got the same anatomy and we don't. We've been forced to work for the natural resources that's in abundance on the planet for a while now, like they've been hijacked for a while now, like, a lot of this stuff. So when people say like, make America great again, or was it ever good and stuff like that, we pray to beings outside of ourselves for stuff that we can change ourselves. And we don't realize that so-called God or Jesus is going to ask us some of these questions. Like you was asking me for help for this, but why wasn't you trying to do this yourself? Why was you asking me for help for something that you can change yourself? We don't realize these questions that's going to be asked of us. It's a lot of stuff that we could have did without trying to look for. See, because this system has you looking at everything from the outside. Of course, the main is religion, right? And religion is not wrong. It's just how it's perceived, and it's not told the real truth of that, really what that means to us. But this world has us looking at everything on the outside, and not to go inside at all. You ask a regular person how does their pancreas work, they won't even be able to tell you. You ask a person how their central nervous system works, how frontal lobe works, they won't be able to tell you. So if we don't know how our body works, how our anatomy works, of course we're not eating correctly, because we don't even know what's poisoning us, and then we're not even paying attention to our bodies, or we listening to the complex cell organism tell us what's good or not good for our bodies, and believing whatever it is, whether they're actually having an honest day and telling us the truth or really trying to help us, or they're telling us something under the curriculum of that practice that's going to have us coming back and spend more money, or causing our body more harm. Like it's abuse, y'all. So this shit, there's so much levels to this, but I'm just saying that, I'm talking about all this to give. I be trying to love on y'all, but I'm in the worst situation of this system could give. I'm gonna be real with you, And a lot of people that be saying certain stuff, it's a lot of stuff I don't be posting. Like for instance, I saw the guy recently post about his monetization on his channel, The same thing that he just posted on his channel, and I respect the guy, you know. But the same thing he posted about his monetization and they not allowing him on his channel, they just sent that to me. I didn't screenshot it and post a picture of it though. But you know, because I don't do this for money. I've been homeless, you know, like I've been going through it. You know, I'm doing this for the truth. You know, as this shit is shutting down. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you, brother.
Destination.
You know, like I'm doing this. I'm doing this for real righteousness. Like I'm not. That's why it's like they can't fuck with me. You feel me? This is why they can't fuck with me, because I don't give a fuck about that monetization. You feel me? Like I've had my channel for years. I had my channel for years, not getting paid, giving out information. You know, building thousands of followers. So as I recently monetized my shit and them hitting me with that, y'all, that shit ain't about nothing. I'm telling you, I don't give a fuck. Like that shit is so funny to me. Like, cause y'all gotta realize that I'm in the heart of everything of this system that we're so-called that's been designed against us. Everyone living off of us. I'm in Northern Virginia. I'm in the first slave state. DC's right around the corner from me, you know? So-called DMV area. Like, I'm in the heart of the most racism, the most money of the whole 50 states. You know, so you gotta think about it. If I'm in these areas like Fairfax County, Loudoun County, the richest out of the whole 50 states, more bougie and stuck up than Hollywood, right? Of course, enjoy the rest of your day, God. It's peace, power, abundance your way. Of course, this is the most area, the most Uncle Toms, you know? Of course, this is the area of the most black people that have a lack of respect for their brother and sister. Of course. I mean, it's Virginia, you know? This is the heart of the damage of us. You know, if it's anywhere that's probably close to it, it's probably like Georgia. You know, Georgia's on the 33rd parallel and shit. It's a lot of history there. And there's a lot of history in other places of the planet, but it's still like not touching a lot of shit that's in the area where I'm at, y'all. Like I could tell y'all stories that y'all probably wouldn't even believe if I, like, for real, like it's so much shit that I haven't told y'all. There's so much shit. It's shit that I can tell y'all about what's happened to me while I've been out here. I survived so much trauma, you know, so much harassment, you know. Like I told y'all, I just got ran up on by a slave catcher literally the other day, like not even less than a week ago, you know. And his reasoning for coming up to me was because I was by myself, so I looked suspicious. You know, no matter what, we're always looking suspicious. Whether we're by ourselves minding our business, whether we're around people, it don't matter. Like you be around people and be like, damn, I'm just gonna be by myself. And you think like, if I'm by myself outside and I'm minding my business, you know, it's nothing no one can say to bother me because I'm by myself. No, you look suspicious. Even if you're not even by yourself in a like disclosed area, like you could be by yourself in an open area, you look suspicious. Like it's always something to try to create a situation out of nothing. You get what I'm saying? That you like got to get around and you know what I'm saying? Like it's always some next shit. So, you know, and there's been a lot of other stuff with them recently, but it's like, I don't play the psychological games with them though, you know? And that's where it always stops at. Like even when he came to me, literally, there's one right me right now. Even when he came to me, he couldn't fathom y'all my calmness, how calm I was. Like he was just like, damn, this nigga didn't get startled. This nigga ain't he ain't get startled. He ain't get scared. I'm like, fuck is it to get scared for? This shit is endgame, you know? Y'all gonna play this shit out. I know that. Y'all gonna go with the lies. Y'all gonna go to y'all got lost cause energy. That's why I just posted that. If y'all understand what I was saying, talking about the lost cause energy. When you got lost cause energy, there's nothing that you can do with that. And that's what Mother Nature has figured out with them. They became so much in their arrogancy in their mind that they think that this is how we're supposed to be living. So now that the sun has any shit that they try to do, no matter what the fuck that they try to do, they're getting the fuck out of here. You know? They're getting the fuck out of here. The sun is getting them the fuck out of here. You know? So that's what I'm grateful for. Because like, fuck that. Like, it's been too much shit that's been done that shit we don't even know that took place. You hear me? We don't even know that took place. I'm gonna be real with y'all. Like if they was to talk about really everything that took place and really how it did, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. In the low vibrational state that we're in, we would probably max the fuck out. I'm gonna be real with y'all. I'm gonna be real with y'all. A lot of black people would max the fuck out, I believe, because we're in such a low vibrational state, in a docile state. I don't think that a lot of us will be able to fathom some of those things and still stay sane or not reactive, you know? So I know that that's why a lot of that's not told, because like I said, you can only you can only fight. Basically, what I'm saying is they know we're already in the low vibrational state because of all of this that we're dealing with. So it's like, and they know that we already got that chaos energy that's instilled with us because of us walking on top of our ancestors, energy never dying, da da da, right? They know that. So they know, that with with the docile state that we're in, if we was to know some of these things, you got to think about it. You know, what do you think will come from that? You know, a lot of our brains are undeveloped, y'all. So we wouldn't, you know what I mean? Like it wouldn't be a calculus decision that would be made upon that wrongness being done. That's basically what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So, of course, you know, so when you hear people say stuff like, oh, you know, the story wasn't told how it was and da da da, I'm just like, of course it's not. That would be, put it like this. I know that they can't see the forest beyond the trees from a collective majority standpoint, but they not that bold. I'm gonna say it like this: they not that bold, where they gonna tell us really what took place, the story's exact, without the lies of that, with the state that we're in. You know what I mean? It's not gonna that would not be done. I know that would not be done. So y'all gotta understand that. Hold up real quick, y'all. Y'all gotta understand. There's certain stuff that'll be done and there's certain stuff that won't be done. Hold up real quick though, y'all. Let me get this real quick. My goal is to get these headphones so I gotta get these headphones so I can finish this EP. I'm not gonna lie, I'm in love with my Brit, but I haven't seen my Brit in forever, and I really don't like that. I really don't, cause it's been a lot with that, you know. I gotta.
Okay, what's happening? Preservation. Gotta go to the room. I was getting ready to get off shift and I came home. And I saw the guy. He was handing me that plate. So I asked him, what's going on? That's just something I said, oh, I'm going to check out. Right? And just, so, hearing me, not letting me enjoy it. Okay, who's the problem? Whatever the case. So since he just had came in an hour. Okay. Howard, you know, he went on there, but you see, he booked it online, so technically speaking, we're not supposed to reverse online. Correct. You know, they got to call them out. Because some of them have a fee that they charge. You know, you did that thing with that in the union. Correct. I mean, 318, and I don't like to run. So, no, 318, I'm going to bring them all that Newport, he brings it. That's right, they give me a key. So I'm just gonna go check, just check, to make sure he's gone, but you know, sometimes they'll leave the doors, they'll stay in. Good. He's a little young. So, I think. Go ahead. What's up, JR? Yes, I have my wife on the front. Good. All right. Okay. All right. You know what?
No, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
You're young.
No key.
By the time I get my kids at, they'll be $50.
Hey, no, I know over it. I know it twice. They asked, they look to get something from the store. Oh, the Woodbridge is not selling. No,
Like this.
No, she know better than that. She know better than that.
Anyway,
So, I actually.
was that Junior?
What's up? How you? Man, I'm gonna lie. When you came in here, man, I'm like, bro, you kind of tall, bro. You play some basketball. I looked over. I said, damn, you kind of tall. You play basketball back in the day?
Yeah, East Tech.
For all you play college?
I played East Tech.
Okay.
When I got to college, I played lacrosse.
Oh, lacrosse. Okay.
Yeah, there was too many of y'all playing basketball.
See, he's not.
Oh, what city you from?
I was born in Cleveland.
Oh, wow.
I thought you was over the way.
I recently was out there. I was out at some place called West Lake.
Oh yeah, Westlake.
It's almost like Fairfax. And I went to Cleveland. Cleveland wasn't that far from it. I saw the street Harvey. Steve Harvey is from, and I saw the street from Bone Thugs and Harmony. Out there, they're from there also.
Yeah, well, you're from
Yeah.
the other side of town.
Yeah.
No, man, not there. Well, maybe when you were.
Yeah. I was at like it.
I got underwear older than you, so I don't know how.
Oh yeah.
I got underwear his age.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna get my head up.
All right, y'all drink rest. Yeah, man. I was just speaking with the guys real quick. You heard me. It's good, bro. Hope you're doing good. Just popping in and dropping light. I appreciate you, OG. I appreciate you, man. Yeah, man. Just yeah, man. It's just crazy. It's like I be having. I'm gonna tell y'all, like, this might sound crazy. Well, actually, no, it won't. It don't. It don't. It won't sound crazy. But I'm more leaning towards having like a lot of my real lives, like a lot of my uploads that I'll be getting now about stuff that's about to happen and stuff. Like for instance, in a little bit, I might give y'all an upload that I got about the goddesses and about their level of understanding certain stuff. Make sure you get a lot of sun. You organical, your genetica. You know, like you natural. You are the like me, the son, Latino, black. My son, Puerto Rican and Dominican. Enjoy your day. No, I gotta upload that I'm gonna give y'all about black women, and it helped me really understood. I mean, helped me really understand black women more and better as I got this as I got this upload. Like I was really able to understand as I got this upload, y'all. And it's I almost want to tell y'all now, but I'm gonna wait to tell y'all. But it makes sense. Like a lot of the goddesses are understand. You know, I was getting energy. Hey, excuse me. Hey, hey, bye. Yeah, my fault, y'all. My fault. it's a upload that I got on Black women for the understanding of why they're more compliant than we are. Because you hear that a lot, like the the guys and the goddesses, like we can't be on the same page because they're working right with our oppressors, and the black men, we see what's going on and we more at their necks, right? But the reason why this is, well, I'm gonna say that for another lie, but I'm gonna just say this before I go in on it. Just remember that they came before us. Just remember that, and when you really understand that, you see it from a different standpoint of really what's being done, but yeah, shout out everybody, man. We gotta match these solar flares that's hitting the planet. We gotta be careful. We gotta love on each other. We gotta protect our children. And no disrespect to the unnatural people that watch, everything I be saying, check up on what I be saying and stuff when I say this, but we gotta watch y'all, because and y'all that know what I'm saying this from an anatomical standpoint. I'm not saying this for like no hatred for y'all or anything, but a lot of our black people, from a collective majority standpoint, that know that we're different, still doesn't know that like y'all shared, different DNA with different animals, or even with a animal, you know what I'm saying, that's violent, and the characteristics and traits in which that is expressed from those animals, that same behavior is expressed from y'all. You get what I'm saying? So I'm saying this from that standpoint of the dangers of situations that can arise off of the animals individually trying to express themselves right now, off of y'all being unnatural, due to the radiation that's on the planet. That's why I'm saying this. I'm not saying this to be on some like, some people be thinking I be trying to be like so-called racist or something. I'm like, nah, like it's no type shit like that. It's all love with me, but I know what's been done and I know the consequences around it, right? So when you understand all of that, you know what's up, and it ain't like you trying to hate on no one or anything like that, but you can't be manipulated around the truth off of your level of awareness and knowing what's up. Like it's a real thing, y'all, with our species. So I just wanted to just love on y'all briefly, like I always do. Y'all know I always love on y'all. You know what I mean? I always get that energy out to your universe. That's one thing that is also helping this whole thing speed up. All the black people that know what's going on, right? However, so we're going about expressing it. We're not doing it off of a level like this. We're not doing it expecting a certain level of like gratification from anybody individually. We know that our truth is going to reach the right people because of who we are. You know what I'm saying? So we're not looking at it from a standpoint of if this doesn't get this much likes, or if this doesn't, get this much comments, then I'm not going to talk about this again. Or, it's really from the core of who we are and our irritation and fatigue about how much more we really don't have left to give to this false reality of infringed ways. It's going out the window. It's outdated. And as the days go by and everyone trying to continuously live it, you can tell that the irritation of people, but these are the people that's the problem. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all, because people think that them just having avoided energy and getting mad at a homeless person or someone that's struggling is the problem when they'll be in the same situation. However, so they come up short a little bit. So it's just like, but they don't want to face that, and they'd rather take the anger out on the homeless person in their neighborhood, or that they drive by. So it's like, people are just lost, y'all. That's why it's like, even me as a homeless person, I don't even be taking, put it like this, for me to take people serious, I got to feel their energy, whether they help me or not, whether I ask them for it or not, all that's irrelevant. because I'm going to respect the person regardless, just how they carry themselves. You know, it ain't about what they could do for me. It's about how they carry themselves and what they're trying to do for themselves. You know, now of course, helping someone else out is a form of helping yourself out. But for you to do that, you got to be intact with yourself in certain areas for whatever that is that you're trying to help someone else out with. You know, so you know, God did make me different. You know, God made us different. You know, and the sun I'm chasing it. You know, but for real, you might as well say that the sun is chasing us. You know, the sun, it's like the sun is chasing the planet, and everything that shouldn't be here, or that's not exact, or that's not bringing value, meaning like it's bringing the planet low, it's not having the planet evolving, it's being stripped away. I just don't want to get on here that much, and I'm gonna get on here randomly because I know that even for me, I'm not saying this is the same for everybody, but I figured this out for me, right? Like, you know, we have ways to combat this matrix, right? And the last of it being here. I know if I get on here too much, even if I get on here too much and too often and talk about my uploads, about stuff that I'm getting that's going on or what's about to happen, it's gonna make me feel like I'm going crazy because like I'm still in the last of this shit. It's not all the way gone, and I really want this shit all the way gone, and I see it fading out. So I gotta not really get on here and give information to y'all and just balance out my energy around the last days of this shit and let more stuff take place so I don't crash out and it doesn't get me beforehand. Because I see all the little psychological games that it's trying to play with me, you know, you know, and that's regardless if some of that's from my trauma or just my level of realization, and it is an actual attack. Like either or, like I'm just blocking all of it out. I'm handling stuff accordingly to get around all of this shit because it's a lot of shit that I'm dealing with. It's a lot of shit, y'all. So I'm gonna tap in with y'all, man. Lord, viewpoints at RoBs Inferno while it burns slow. Shout out my guys and goddesses, know high vibrational human beings. You know what the fuck it is. Tap in, tap in. Shout out my Nestle Quick.